Hello? Is this a good level? Okay, good. Okay. Oh. Why don't you just judge it?
Nope, we got another minute.
Good job. Come, come, whoever you are welcome here. No matter your age, your size, the color of your eyes, your hair, your skin, you are welcome here. No matter how you came here, if you came alone or with others, you are welcome here. No matter whom you love or how you speak or whatever your abilities, you are welcome here. Whether you come with laughter in your heart or tears in your eyes, you are welcome here. If you come with an open mind, a loving heart, and willing hands, then you are indeed welcome here.
By the way, that was Louie, our newest gong person. And whether you are a nature or a nurture person, there's a distinct difference between the way the little boys bang the gong, the eagerness that the little boys come to the gong, and the girls are pretty shy about it. So we have to work on that, I guess. Welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of New Orleans. For almost 200 years, this congregation has been a beacon of liberal faith, spiritual self-fulfillment, and commitment to making our community and our world a better place for all. I am Beverly Rainbolt, proud to have my name tag on, which has, for the most of the last 2 years, been between the car seat and the center part of the front of the car, and I didn't want to tell our gracious person who makes name tags that I had lost another one. So welcome back, name tag. If you are a visitor, would you raise your hands, please, so that we can welcome you, or wave, or whatever. If you're, yes, welcome, welcome. For visitors and members alike, a little housekeeping. You may have noticed there's a little disruption in the area right, because Rain's renovations have started, and that's a huge project. This is from damage from Hurricane Ida. So anyway, they have started, which means that the restroom, a lot of things are moved around and ways to get there are moved around. So the restroom that is closest to us now, because that one's out of commission, the restrooms, you go all this way down, you go in here, take a right and then a left immediately, go to the end of the hall. There's a restroom at the end of hall. If you go up the little ramp, there's another restroom. And if you go on the elevator and punch the 2R, there is a wheelchair accessible restroom on the second floor. I know that sounds complicated, and you probably couldn't repeat it back to me, but we have people who will help you find your way if you need. Lane is sitting up here front. I think she would help. We have greeters in the back, so just ask. Not nearly as complicated. We would like to make sure that everyone in the congregation hears us this morning. So if we're not projecting, if we're off the mic, if you can't hear us, raise your hand, do this, and we'll try to adjust. If anyone of any age would like some activities, fidgets or toys or coloring books, whatever, that helps you be more present in the service, you can find pew packs for different age groups, although we're not checking IDs. If you want to do a 3-year-old pew pack, you go right ahead. Near the front entry, help yourselves, and then please return them at the end of the service. After the time for all ages this morning, children are welcome to follow our teachers to the kids' room, which is set up during Sunday services for guided learning and play about our UU values. Kids are welcome to go into the kids' room at any time, but we will have sort of a procession after the time for all ages. And if you want more information about religious exploration, again, Lane can help you with that this morning. She is front and center, well, front and left. Okay, so I'm going to ask Bill to lower the temperature on the air conditioners a couple of degrees, please. Anybody object to that? Thank you, Bill. I think I'm through calling on people for a moment anyway. Stephanie Baus and I are worship leaders today. Stephanie reads poems for sheer joy and spiritual practice, and I write them for the joy of putting words together on the page and then sharing them. As you know, our UU values, interdependence, if I can do this, interdependence, pluralism, justice, generosity, transformation, and equity centered in love. Those are our shared UU values. And our service today focuses on interdependence and all of its complicated ways to understand it. It's described in Article 2 of the Unitarian Universalist Association Bylaws, Principles, and Purposes in this way. Interdependence. We honor the interdependent web of all existence with reverence for the great web of life and with humility. We acknowledge our place in it. We covenant to protect Earth and all beings from exploitation. We will create and nurture sustainable relationships of care and respect, mutuality, and justice. We will work to repair harm and damaged relationships. That's a lot. Through the language of the poems we have curated with offerings from Henry McCarthy and for Dylan Huntsler, who will also read, we invite you to explore the meaning of interdependence.
And now I invite you to rise in body or spirit and join me in lighting the chalice of our heritage and reading the words together that you will find in the insert in your order of service. It's called For Our Mother Earth and for the Mystery. We'll read it all together. We are not alone. We are this flame, ancient as the stars, new as the vulnerable spark. We are not alone. We are this chalice, rimmed by the spiral dance of searching. We are not alone. We are the light soaring, the shadow deepening, the dance between them. We are not alone. We are the heirs of the tribes and their fires, the healers and their circles. We are not alone. We are here. We are here for ourselves. We are here for each other. And We are not alone. And please remain as you are for our opening hymn, which you will find in the gray hymnal, number 38, Morning Has Broken. Please be seated. Now is the time we welcome all of those here who are either young or young at heart to join Lane on the carpet circles for a story.
Can you all hear me? I think you can. Yes? Yeah? Okay, great. See if I can hold this microphone and also read our book today. It's called Love the Earth. Yeah, there's a picture of Earth on the cover. This is by Francis Stickley, and the illustrations are really lovely. I'm going to leave it up here at the end of the service. Tim Hopgood is the illustrator. Thank you, Sigrid. Okay. Love the Earth. I am the earth, all yours to share, the mountains and the Arctic air. The trees, the breeze, the polar bear, the forests and the seas. What do you guys see right here? A polar bear. He's pretty big, isn't he? He is. He looks like a grown-up polar bear. And now you're here, so small and new, a tiny little dream come true. Don't worry, I'll take care of you. Will you take care of me? Build a shelter, feed the crows, plant your seeds in rows and rows. And when at last your garden grows, enjoy the bees and the birds. Please share my food, my lakes, my land. And try to lend a helping hand. Make your mark and take a stand. And let your voice be heard. I'll keep you safe and warm and dry. And at night, I'll sing a lullaby. You can tell me what kind of bird this is. It's an owl. They sing at night, don't they? You know what sound they make? Woo! Exactly. I'll paint a rainbow on the sky or cast a stormy spell. And as you grow and grow and grow, I'll teach you everything I know. The secrets of the ice and snow, the ocean in a shell. I've made the wild volcanoes roar. I've pulled the waves from shore to shore. I've even met a dinosaur. And all your family tree, for I am old, but you are new. Just think of all the things you'll do. You see, there's only one of you and only one of me. So swim in my oceans, climb my trees, kick my leaves into the breeze, marvel at the galaxies, and love with all your worth. You were born to breathe my air, so treat me kind and treat me fair. These gifts from me are yours to share with all my love, the earth.
The children can follow Lane to the kids' room.
Sorry, I was supposed to say. Children are welcome to spend the rest of the service here with us or to visit the kids' room and can go in there at any time. Thank you, choir. It's time for the pastoral prayer meditation, and I'm recalling some of our former minister, Reverend Paul's words, which I particularly like that he used at this time. Let us unite in the spirit of contemplation. Following the prayer, we will enter into a time of silence, which you can use for meditation, reflection, or the prayers of your heart. We'll close the silence by singing together, voice still and small, the words of which can be found in your order of worship. But first, let us lift up those in our congregation and other circles of connection who are in special need of our thoughts and care. And you may say the voices out loud or just think them. Let us hold all these beloveds in our hearts, along with all others who are suffering and scared in these days, both here in our country and across the world. And I heard someone lift up all of the wars that we're involved in, and keep those people especially in mind. I chose the following poem by Mary Oliver as today's prayer because it offers, as Mary Oliver often does, an expansive view of what it means to pray that I hope speaks to us across beliefs. Praying, Mary Oliver. It doesn't have to be the blue iris. It could be weeds in a vacant lot or a few small stones. Just pay attention. Then patch a few words together and don't try to make them elaborate. This isn't a contest, but the doorway into thanks and a silence in which another voice may speak. Let us now enter into silence together.
Please join me as we read our responsive reading, which is in the book insert in your order of worship. And this is called the Declaration of Interdependence by Richard Blanco. It is both Henry and Stephanie offered this to us this morning. So we've decided to divide up because it is long, we're going to divide up the reading. And you will still be invited to read the italicized language as you usually do, but you're going to start off. I'll read the title, and then if you'll come in, and then the rest of us will read the regular text. Declaration of Independence by Richard Blanco. We're a mother's bread, instant potatoes, milk at a checkout line. We're her 3 children pleading for bubble gum and their father. We're the 3 minutes she steals to page through a tabloid, needing to believe even stars' lives are as joyful and bruised.
We're her second job, serving an executive absorbed in the Wall Street Journal at a sidewalk cafe, shadowed by skyscrapers. We're the shadows of the fortune he won and the family he lost. We're his loss and the lost. We're a father in a coal town who can't mine a life anymore because too much and too little has happened for too long.
We're the grit of the main street's blacked out windows and graffiti truths. We're a street in another town lined with royal palms. At home, we're the Peace Corps couple who collects African art. We're the dinner party talk of wines, wielded picket signs, and burned draft cards. We're what they know. It's time to do more than read the New York Times, buy fair trade coffee, and organic corn.
We're the farmer who grew the corn, who plows into his couch as worn as his back by the end of the day. We're his TV set, blaring news, having everything and nothing to do with the field dust in his eyes, or his son nested in the ache of his arms. We're his son. We're a black teenager who drove too fast or too slow, talked too much or too little, moved too quickly but not quick enough. We're the blast of the bullet leaving the gun. We're the guilt and the grief of the cop who wished he hadn't shot.
We're the dead. We're the living amid the flicker of vigil candlelight. We're in a dim cell with an inmate reading Dostoevsky. We're his crime, his sentence, his amends. We're the mending of ourselves and others. We're a Buddhist serving soup at a shelter alongside a stockbroker. We're each other's shelter and hope. A widow's 50 cents in a collection plate and a golfer's $10,000 pledge for a cure.
We're the cure for hatred caused by despair. We're the good morning of a bus driver who remembers our name, the tattooed man who gives up his seat on the subway. We're every door held open with a smile when we look into each other's eyes the way we behold the moon. We're the moon. We're the promise of one people, one breath, declaring to one another, I see you, I need you, I am you.
So the sermon today is a series of poems that we have curated and hope give an overview of all of the pieces of this, this idea of interdependence. And the first poem is by Jo Harjo, and she's a member of the Muskogee Creek Nation and served as a U.S. Poet Laureate from 2019 to 2022, and was the first Native American to serve in this role. And I chose this poem because I felt like it reflects the larger concept of independence and our connection with all beings, the earth, and the larger universe. Remember, Joy Harjo. Remember the sky that you were born under. Know each of the stars' stories. Remember the moon. Know who she is. Remember the sun's birth at dawn. That is the strongest point of time. Remember sundown and the giving away tonight. Remember your birth, how your mother struggled to give you form and breath. You are evidence of her life and her mother's and hers. Remember your father. He is your life also. Remember the earth whose skin you are. Red earth, black earth, yellow earth, white earth, brown earth. We are earth. Remember the plants, trees, animal life, who all have their tribes, their families, their histories too. Talk to them. Listen to them. They are alive poems. Remember the wind. Remember her voice. She knows the origin of the universe. Remember you are all people and all people are you. Remember you are this universe and this universe is you. Remember all is in motion, is growing, is you. Remember language comes from this. Remember the dance language is, that life is. Remember.
I'll follow that with a poem by our current poet laureate, who is Ada Limon. And remember, as she said, remember that in order to repair, which is what our covenant is for interdependence, we have to call out what it is that needs repaired or what the harm was. And this is a new national anthem by Ada Limon. The truth is, I never cared for the national anthem. If you think about it, it's not a good song. Too high for most of us with the rocket's red glare. And then there are the bombs. Always, always there is war and bombs. Once I sang it at a homecoming and threw even the tenacious high school band off key. But the song didn't mean anything, just a call to the field, something to get through before the pummeling of youth. And what of the stanzas we never sing? The third that mentions no refuge could save the hireling and the slave. Perhaps the truth is that every song of this country has an unsung third stanza, something brutal, snaking underneath as we absent-mindedly sing the high notes with a beer sloshing in the stands, hoping our team wins. Don't get me wrong, I do like the flag. How it undulates in the wind like water, elemental, and best when it's humbled, brought to its knees, clung to by someone who has lost everything, when it's not a weapon, when it flickers, when it folds up so perfectly you can keep it until it's needed, until you can love it again, until the song in your mouth feels like substance, a song where the notes are sung by even the ageless woods, the shortgrass plains, the Red River Gorge, the fistful of land left unpoisoned. That song, that's our birthright, that made sounds in silence when it's too hard to go on, that sounds like someone's rough fingers weaving into another's, that sounds like a match being lit in an endless cave, the song that says, my bones are your bones, and your bones are my bones. And isn't that enough?
Have to take a pause after that one. Naomi Shihab Nye is an award-winning Palestinian-American poet and writer. who lives and works in San Antonio, Texas. And she travels a lot and has woven a lot of different cultures, especially Middle Eastern and Mexican cultures, into a lot of her poems. I chose this poem today because, to me, it reflects the aspect of interdependence concerning relationships of care and respect and making those. It's called Red Brocade by Naomi Shihab Nye. The Arabs used to say, when a stranger appears at your door, feed him for 3 days before asking who he is, where he's come from, where he's headed. That way he'll have strength enough to answer, or by then you'll be such good friends you don't care. Let's go back to that. Rice, pine nuts? Here, take the red brocade pillow. My child will serve water to your horse. No, I was not busy when you came. I was not preparing to be busy. That's the armor everyone put on to pretend they had a purpose in the world. I refuse to be claimed. Your plate is waiting. We will snip fresh mint into your tea.
Hey, I'm Dylan Hutzler. This is a poem that I wrote on my own. It's called United States Anonymous on Imperialism and Interdependence. And the couple trigger warnings, I mean, it does mention war, it does mention climate catastrophe, and a few other things. United States Anonymous on Imperialism and Interdependence. How can I feel interdependent when my pregnant immigrant sister in Christ bleeds alone in a cell and no one answers? How can I feel patriotic when my Vietnam vet father lived out of a van in Algiers for 5 months in 2000, and my hippie school made us sing, "I'm proud to be an American," under the name of a segregationist judge? How can I feel interdependent when the phone in my hand was built by workers paid cents on the dollar, smoking through their lunch breaks an ocean away? How can I feel interdependent when my buddy Jerry was stranded on his mother's roof in the 7th Ward, 2005, waiting for a helicopter that never came because he was black while I was safe inland? How can I feel interdependent when my father's heroes, Steinbeck, Castro, Guevara, all burned themselves slowly, and my city still drinks to survive the day? I'm up, they're down. How can I feel interdependent when nations age into fear, when statistics become prophecy and prophecy becomes policy? It isn't personal, only numbers. And how can I feel interdependent when I chant Om Namah Shivaya or Gate Gate Paragate and nothing stops the machine? Slavoj Žižek calls it soft fascism in a prayer wheel. Is karma anti-Semitic, or is it just the name we give to consequences we refuse to own? So when did I learn that the earth was interdependent? When the imperial boomerang left Da Nang in 1967, where my 23-year-old father stood, and came back decades later as something quieter, something that lived inside him. When I watched the towers fall and people chose the air over the fire. When I understood that nothing we send out disappears, every war, every policy, every quiet cruelty, every act of care, it all comes back. Whether it's dropped on Gaza, Lebanon, Iran, or wagered on screens like numbers in a game, it comes back. American Anonymous, Canada, Europe, Iran, please, it's Trump, it's not me. American Anonymous, when stocks rise and fall as bombs raise school walls, please, it's them, not me. But when does my vote for an AIPAC-backed candidate become that bomb in that school? When does the lesser evil, harm reduction, reduce my powers of deduction? American Anonymous, I've seen the arc bend. It's not them, it's me.
This poem is by Ruth Awad, a Lebanese-American disabled poet whose work has received awards and been supported by prestigious fellowships. It explores the theme of interdependence by describing the quiet tension between personal struggle about survival and the unrelenting call of nature to be alive. Reasons to Live by Ruth Awad. If you can survive the violet night, you can survive the next. And the fig tree will ache with sweetness for you in sunlight that arrives first at your window, quietly pouring, even when you can't stand it. And you'll heavy the whining floorboards of the house you filled with animals as hurt and lost as you. And the bearded irises will form fully in their roots, their golden manes swaying with the want of spring. Live, 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 live. One day you'll put your hands in the earth and understand an afterlife isn't promised. But the spray of scorpion grass keeps growing, and the dogs will sing their whole bodies in praise of you. And the red buds will lay down their pink crowns, and the rivers will set their stones and ribbons at your door. If only you'll let the world soften you with its touching.
Thank you, Henry and Dylan. This next poem is one of my more recent poems. It happened outside of Slidell, and I'm sort of a spectator in this poem, but also very much a part of it. You know, for those of us who were raised in the Christian church, one of the first things we were told is man's dominion over animals. That's not what our our shared faith is at UU. And this hopefully explains some of the danger in that. It's called Living and Dying in the Dream State. Remember when we were Sportsman's Paradise and then we were the Dream State? I'm not sure what we are now, the Nightmare State, possibly. Maybe that's what I should title it, Living and Dying in the Dream State. When the first photos appeared and excitement built, rare bird, dark morph of a little blue, great black, great blue. Stunning was the word for the creature who seemed simultaneously to pose and ignore the gawkers who'd descended, photographers and more. Once in a lifetime for the list. Shiny black it strode in a measured grace beside the ditch, beside the road. People taking photos 15, 12, 10 feet away, noting the heron's ease in the company of so many humans doting. On social media, we oohed and awed. Melanistic was the magic word. Someone said stained. Thus began the great debate, rare bird, oiled bird. Oops, I'm sorry. It's not melanistic, not a life bird, not roadside attraction, came the voices of despair. What you see is the product of exploitation, of extraction. Back and forth the discussion went, melanistic and rare or oiled and in danger. The photographs kept coming. People took sides, argued with strangers. The feathers are wispy, not matted or clumped. It's hunting and fishing still. It flies across the ditch, such a beautiful sight, so rare, such a thrill. We should stop, shouldn't look, shouldn't take pictures. What about the road, the traffic, the locals who feel intruded upon by attending hordes? I rescued birds after Deepwater Horizon, one said. Just look at the sheen, its plumage is stained. And said another, its beak is streaked, its excessive preen. A week, 10 days went by, birders planned trips, rescuers held sway. Someone called Wildlife and Fisheries, they said they'd come Monday. But Monday found the great blue heron, emaciated, dead, on the side of the road, smelling of creosote, contaminated. Not because people didn't care. We just didn't see the oily substance, the heron dying before our eyes, caught in our own web of dominance.
So, Maya Angelou, who likely needs no introduction to most of us, is known for her poetry, especially her memoirs, and her civil rights activism. She worked with Malcolm X and Dr. King, and if you've read her memoir, she lived a really fascinating life, lived a lot of different places, and also worked as a dancer, a singer, an actor, composer, a screenwriter, director, a touring lecturer, and a university professor. She died in 2014. In 1993, she recited her poem On the Pulse of Morning at the inauguration of Bill Clinton. And this was the first time anyone had read a poem at an inauguration since John Kennedy asked Robert Frost to do that in '61. She's often referred to as the people's poet. Her poems often have a public purpose and are most powerful when performed aloud by her in that voice that she has. So I have my work cut out for me here. And this one's called Human Family, Maya Angelou. I note the obvious differences in the human family. Some of us are serious, some thrive on comedy. Some declare their lives are lived as true profundity, and others claim they really live the real reality. The variety of our skin tones can confuse, bemuse, delight, brown and pink and beige and purple, tan and blue and white. I've sailed upon the 7 seas and stopped in every land. I've seen the wonders of the world, not yet one common man. I know 10,000 women called Jane and Mary Jane, but I've not seen any two who were really the same. Mirror twins are different, although their features jibe, and lovers think quite different thoughts while lying side by side. We love and lose in China, we weep on England's moors, we laugh and moan in Guinea and thrive on Spanish shores. We seek success in Finland, are born and die in Maine. In minor ways we differ, in major we're the same. I note the obvious differences between each sort and type, but we are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. We are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. We are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike.
We are more alike than we are unalike. We're going to close this part of the service with a poem that I wrote very early in my poetry career. And it was sort of my recognition of this is a calling, I suppose. I think the only name that you will hear in here that you may not be familiar with is Kerouac. That's Jack Kerouac, who was the early beat poet who inspired a lot of poetry, inspired a lot of poets to live an alternate kind of style. Unfortunately, he died a sad and lonely and addicted man who thought Richard Nixon was wonderful. And it's called Mama's Gonna Buy Me a Mockingbird. Mockingbird sings greetings to summer solstice sun, Coffee cupped in my hands, cat crouched at my feet. For one golden eternity, three of us, poet, familiar, and guardian angel, are one. Mockingbird sings lullaby to nocturnal beasts, whose, while stooped on the porch, only our eyes follow as trespassing tomcat hedges by. And morning's first jogger paces dawn, unaware. Mockingbird wings from magnolia to pine to telephone line to over the bus, stopped at the corner and still lit inside against the dark, reminding us we are in the city. Mockingbird swings, lets loose a heartful riff, and the Jays join in with a "What's it to you" chorus. Knick-knack, Kerouac, tell Buddha we're awake on the last day of spring.
Generosity is one of our UU shared values. As UUs, we agree to cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. We understand that generosity is a spiritual discipline that connects us to one another in relationships of interdependence and mutuality. We can practice our act of generosity either by placing an offering in the collection plate or by using the information in your order of service to give electronically. There's a QR code you can scan with your phone.
Gifts to this community of faith are gratefully received. Let us acknowledge these gifts by reading together the words in your order of worship. This gift from the abundance of my life blesses me, our community, and the world. Thank you. Giving in the offering plate and pledging are a part of how we steward this congregation, but they're not the only ways. There are many other ways that you can go out and build community and build generosity and share UUism in the rest of the community. So here's some of the ways. Let me tell you that in the back of your order of worship, there's a QR code that will get you to the announcements page where things are listed in detail. And at the top of that is a thing you can click to sign up for the digest, the weekly digest, which comes out exactly 5 o'clock every Friday afternoon. That's where all of our announcements are and what the next service is going to be and everything. So this QR code, and you can click on it right now, and then it'll be in your phone so you can check it later in the week in case you forget. Could I bring, yes, so the other thing I want to say is that immediately after the service is a caring circle meeting up in the office. Jean Bernard, would you raise your hand? Yeah, and this is one of the ways we take care of our members and show them that we care. So I want to give you one short version of the renovation update. What you see is what's going to be, I don't know where we will be in here next Sunday. Maybe we'll have a bathroom next Sunday, or maybe it'll be the next Sunday. Depends on how long the tile takes to dry, or the contractors go on vacation and come back, or whatever. Those things, I tell people, I send out an update every time I get it from Rain, and then as soon as I hit send, it's changed. So, but we're resilient, right? We're flexible, we move on. So now I'm gonna ask Louis' father, who is Cody Kaiser, who has a spotlight announcement.
Hey, good morning, everybody. My name's Cody Kaiser, father of Louis, as previously stated. Thank you, Beverly, for letting me come up here, and I'm a relatively new member as of this year. Maybe not officially a member yet, but working on it. Yeah, and just appreciate everybody's welcome and warmth in this congregation. It means a lot to me and my family. So what I wanted to announce today is a movement. It's called May Day Strong, and I have several little pamphlets in the back. I brought an extra stack. I just wanted everybody to know about this. So there is a national coalition that's building. It's growing bigger every day, of labor unions, community organizations, congregations like this one, faith leaders, kind of in the spirit of Minnesota. We all saw kind of the reemergence of the general strike, and we also saw how effective that was in removing ICE and the way it was operating in Minnesota. We can't really say it 100% got ICE out of anywhere, but the tempo of the operation changed, and it really goes to show the power of when things feel so dark. And I've been out there to the protests, to the marches, and we do that over and over. We reach a point where it's time to take an action, and history has shown one of the most impactful nonviolent actions is to say, no more. I'm going to lay down my tools, and I'm not going to participate anymore in wars and hunger and the erosion of our children's future. So it's a very simple ask this year, May 1st, 2026. Similar to Minnesota, no work, no school, no shopping. And I realize for a lot of people can't afford to just not go to work. We don't have a really strong union presence here in Louisiana, but it is growing. There's a lot of exciting, with NNU, the nurses, the campus workers all around the city. So whatever you're able to do this year, if you can have your groceries, you don't have to go on Amazon on May 1st. It's a Friday. Just take a Sabbath and send a small message in the way that everybody can. And I wanted to add, I'm a former UAW, United Auto Workers. I used to work at the NASA site in New Orleans East and participated with UAW. This is all in the lead up to 2028. UAW has lined up several of their automaker contracts to end on May 1st, 2028. That's also a significant year because it's a transfer of power for federal government, presidency. We know how rocky that is in the US. So I would look at this as an opportunity to get in early to say, I can send a message, because there are people that are going to see this, you know, when they see the sales go down, if they see a lot of people take off work and it starts making headlines, you know, this is your chance to get your, to get in at the ground floor. And I expect that this is going to grow through 2027. And when we probably will really need it, 2028, who knows where we'll be then, but we'll be there together, and that's the important thing. So I'm gonna leave these in the back for anybody. The website has a lot of great organizing tools for teachers that wanna teach about labor history in the US. It's great. So thank you for your patience and giving me this time here. Have a great day. Thank you.
Please stand in body or spirit and join in our chalice extinguishing, which is in your order of worship. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And please remain as you are for our closing hymn, which you will find in the gray hymnal, number 317, We Are Not Our Own.
We are not alone, and let us be a house of welcome. In closing, I'm going to circle back to a Mary Oliver poem, because she is our UU poet that we love, and she definitely knows what interdependence means. And this is Wild Geese, which many of you recognize, yes, by Mary Oliver. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Love, tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes over prairies and deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, wild geese high in the clean blue air are heading home again. Where whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. At its founding, our church was known as the Strangers Church. Don't ask questions. Please turn and greet your neighbors and make a new friend if it's a stranger or you're a stranger, and join us for coffee, which is going to be wheeled in and will be in the back of the chapel, just like old times.